talking about the most important issues affecting our people and in the United States. Right now, many of our people are going through many transitions because of problems within this government, how this government treats their people, particularly our people, and there doesn't appear to be any resource in terms of helping our people from the conditions that they are, because the leadership has been very weak, and that has produced bad results for our people. They tell you that you have to work within the system, or you can change the system, or you can try to better the situation by helping people to become far more educated where they are in terms of how to treat our people properly. So this has been going on since over 200 years, and there is no solution so far in this nation, and there never will be for many reasons. We won't go into those right now, but right now we want to focus on solutions as to how do we get a better life than what this country has allowed for us to exist in. And it's quite clear, like all the people throughout the world, they've made decisions that have impacted their entire lives. Let's go back to the year 1700s, when this country was not even a country, but a colony of another country, in particular England. And England had this property, which we call the Americas today. Those states that were part of the Americas were owned and property of a nation in a different continent, in Europe. Yet the people who lived here and were born here in this colony, who were Europeans, at one point came to an edge where realizing, look, we cannot continue to live in this situation and allow ourselves to be taken advantage of by the people who live in Europe, who we once came from, but now we're so distant from them. It's time for us to make a decision. They're not going to treat us any better. They're not going to change. There's nothing we can do to change them. So what must change is us. Meaning we have to stop being British and become a new people in this area called the Americas, and we're going to call our nation the United States of America. And that's when they became an independent nation. We understand that. This is part of the basic education in America. But when it comes to our people to execute a very similar process, it becomes so convoluted, so difficult to understand. And of course, most people understand, but they've been taught to act as if you don't understand. That why should you have to have your own separate nation? Well, the question is very simple. Why did George Washington have his own separate nation? No one questions that, but yet we are in a worse condition than what George was. George Washington was not a slave. On the contrary, he owned slaves. And yet, in spite of that, he wanted his own nation. So there's a lot of particulars that we have to dig into deeply to understand the ideas and what motivates people to form a nation. The most important issue is having complete independence. Control of your own destiny, not by having someone that's so disconnected from you, even in this country where they're not that far away in Washington, D.C. and throughout the states, they still do not have our best interests at heart. And a lot of our people, the majority of our people, have bought into this idea, and they would rather die than make a change of leaving their own nation. And those people are the ones that are called Americans, African Americans. And of course, there's a small number of people just like me that say, no, we deserve better. And we're going to get better by forming our own nation. Many of your leaders will dispute this because they don't believe in it. They feel that they don't have the ability, or they feel that they don't have a right to form their own nation. How contrary is that to the main people that founded this nation? It's a big controversy because they believe in the people who ran against their own government in England. But yet, they make no connection when it comes to us starting our own nation. If you're one of those people who want their own nation, join us. Go to KCZIN, become a supporter of this channel that brings this message to our people so we can get ourselves organized and gathered so we can start forming our own nation. Quite doable, all within our lifetime. All you have to do is go to the website, KCZIN, become a subscriber, and you will receive the message of the greatness of forming a nation, the great nation of Mahali.